everybody. Welcome back. This week is my birthday week, and I wanted to share with you that I received a card that became the theme for this week's class. And let's say this is the card. So on the front of the card it said, in order to find out, you need to, and then of course there's this pause because that's all it said on the front of the card. And so I went inside the card and it said, go inside. In order to find out, you've got to go inside. And I thought, what a perfect metaphor, really, for what it is that we all need at this time. We are all going inside, quite literally, in our kind of quarantine, unprecedented lifestyle in the States right now. Well, actually all over the globe. And so we're all needing to go inside. And what is it that we're going to find out? Well, we're here to find out what's next. What is the new norm that we're moving toward? And we don't know what that is, but we can find it out by going in. And so our yoga practice is all the more important right now for us to be able to have a way to check in, to quiet the mind, and to allow ourselves to be with the wisdom of our body and our hearts. And so we can go within. All right, we're going to start out with a little bit of movement that is, our regular warm-up kind of process, right? So we start out by, we're going to go, imagine that we're on the face of a clock. We did this the last couple weeks, so we're just going to shift the weight forward and back and forward and back, and then going around the face of the clock. Well, it looks like I'm leading you around a backwards way around the clock, but for me it's forwards. So maybe that's what we all need to do right now, is to be a little bit flexible about our time and relationship to the clock, right? Oh yes, life is flowing with time in a very different manner right now. All right, well, I'm glad that you found some time to be able to practice yoga with me. And as we shift our weight back and forth, see if you can just soften into your feet, soften into your stance, soften into the earth, letting yourself ground, letting yourself kind of spread the roots down into the earth. We're going to go around one more time. So leading with the left foot, if you're mirroring me. And let yourself find your breath. See if you can find that ease in the rocking kind of movement. Rocking kind of movements are very relaxing for the nervous system. Just like if you want to rock a baby to sleep. So think you're rock-a-byeing yourself right now to be able to find that place inside you that holds the voice of the wise one, that holds the voice of the sage within you that wants to be accessed, so that you can find out what wants to happen or what doesn't want to happen, which is also just as important as we start to edit and focus on how it is that we want to live into our life in this new way. What is important and what is not important? All right, so there's our beginning of finding our feet. And let's just come into our ankles, starting with rolling out, opening up the ankle, opening up the foot, rolling in. And then you're going to roll onto the top of the foot, stretching out the top of the foot. I've heard from some that this has been a challenge, a surprising challenge, coming onto the top of the foot, stretching out the front. All right, let's go to the other foot, circling out. Coming into the breath and circling in. You're just slowing yourself down. We're kind of downshifting right now into being embodied. Coming on to the top of the foot, stretching it out. Have you ever noticed how the mind seems to travel faster than the body? Sometimes we need to downshift the mind to come back into the body. All right, plant both feet onto the floor, and I'm using my fingers like this because I want you to splay the toes and open up the toes and anchor them down as you come down to the knees, and we'll circle the knees around. Circling around, feeling yourself starting to soften and open into the backs of the calves, into the heels as well as the knees. And then circle the knees around the other direction. As you do this, thank your knees. Connect to the knees, connect to the lower legs and say thank you. Grounding down into and feeling that sense of support that's there. And then coming up to the hips. Hands on the hips, you might want to widen your stance just a little bit, and then circle the hips around. Each movement is a full circle all the way around, so see if you can even the edges of your circle. Softly opening and stretching. And then let's circle around the other direction. Circling hips, tailbone back. Letting yourself find how much those hips have been holding, probably from sitting a lot. All right, and now let's come back up to the top and circle the arms around the torso. We're going to start by just shifting your weight from side to side and then letting the arms swing from side to side and letting them swing around so that they actually gently percuss on the backs of the ribs. This is a nice movement to stimulate the adrenals and letting yourself kind of come into a deep twist, opening up the space between the rib cage and the pelvis. This is a place where a lot of us don't get much movement, and this is a really great way to open up and begin to warm up that area of the body. All right, now from there, coming back to center, and we'll start with circling the shoulders back. Now these are the places where we really get locked up right now. So let's see if you can really feel that gliding movement of the shoulder blades, lifting up and sliding down the rib cage. And then lead from elbows, opening up the circle just a little bit more so that you're getting a bigger opening through the armpit, through the side seams as you lift up the wrists even farther up, leading from the wrists and then leading from the fingertips, really stretching up and really stretching back. So you feel the side seams of the body really opening all the way down to the sides of the legs. So you've got the armpits opening, you've got your head and neck lifting and rotating with the arms. And then let's go the other direction. So leading with the fingertips, really getting yourself a nice, delicious stretch all the way through the ribs. And then moving from the wrists. And then moving from the elbows. And then just moving through the shoulders. Circling the shoulders forward again, feeling that sense of lift and glide of the shoulder blades. And then lift the shoulder blades up, inhaling up, and then just let them go with an exhale. Try that one more time. And just let them go with the exhale. All right. Now for the neck. And we're going to interlace our fingers and place them back behind our head so that your index fingers at the base of the neck, and then your pinkies are at the top or the base of the skull. Okay? And you're going to lift up slightly so you feel that sense of elongation of the neck as you're standing up straight. Okay? Then the movement's going to be just a gentle circle with the head and neck. Starting with the chin, moving down toward the chest, and then ear to shoulder. Then looking up, think of lengthening through the front of the neck as you come back, and then ear to shoulder. let yourself sink into and feel the edges of the circle that's available to you without effort. Without effort. Okay, we want to just let the jaw relax, eyes relax, face relax, neck relax. Still giving yourself a gentle lift with the hands, cupping at the base of the skull. Now finding a place that's a nice stretch for you, just pausing there and feeling that stretch. You may want to lift up and out through the shoulders and out through the elbows. Gives a little bit extra stretching, lengthening through the back of the spine. And then let's go the other direction. So circling around. Again, let your jaw relax. Let your eyes relax. Let your face relax. Let your ears relax. And then as you come up and around, open up through the front of the shoulders. Open up through the elbows. Find a place where it's going to be a nice stretch for you. It may be a counter stretch to where you were just a moment ago. Feeling the length, feeling the strength, as well as the opening of the neck. Going inside yourself. Waking things up. And then come back to center. All right, bring the hands down. And as you come back to center, let's just check in. Bringing the hands to Namaste. And letting yourself feel the difference in your body. And maybe setting an intention for yourself to access or to beckon in a way that inner wisdom, that inside voice that wants to speak to you, through you, as you, into the world. And waking up that voice. All right, we're going to receive that voice even more by doing the breath of joy. Now remember, the breath of joy is there are 3 inhales and then 1 full exhale as you swing forward. So if you don't remember it, you might want to watch it first, one time at least, and then you can join in. So we're inhaling. Inhale forward, inhale out, inhale up, exhale down. As you exhale, think of exhaling any stress. Exhaling anything that might be in the way of you accessing that innermost voice. 3 more times. Last time. And hang down. Hanging down, just feeling that sense of length through the back of the neck, length through the back of the legs. You can see I'm just kind of rocking a little bit, back and forth, softly rocking, feeling the length as well as the stretch deeply through the back body. Now, if you can touch the floor like I can, you might want to bring your hands to your elbows and then just let yourself hang. Soften through the knees and rock gently from side to side. And then slowly release the hands and roll up. Back, hands to Namaste, back to the prayer position. Closing your eyes and just feel the effects of the breath of joy. Now I'd like to teach another breath today. It's called the bee breath. And the bee breath, as you can imagine, kind of like a bee buzzes, we're going to actually create kind of like a buzzing sound with our lips. So our lips are softly closed, and it's kind of like a hum, but a hum plus a little bit of a vibration with the lips. So it kind of looks like this. So try, almost like you're breathing, not quite like you're blowing a trumpet, that's more of a more of a pucker, but more like if you were playing a clarinet or an oboe. I don't know if any of you have that experience, but a boom. So it actually tickles your lips. It kind of vibrates and tickles your lips. Okay, so that's what you're doing with the mouth. And then the other is a very interesting process. You're placing your fingertips. This is helping you go in. You're placing your fingertips in a position so that you can feel the vibration of your own voice through the bones of your head. Okay? So the position is like, it's like this. So the index finger goes onto the brow, or onto the top of the orbit of the eye. The index finger goes just below onto that lower orbit, or the inner part of the cheekbone, okay? Then the middle, or the ring finger, goes to the top of the jaw, just below the nose, or just above your lips. And then the pinkies go onto the jaw, okay? So you can feel those bony landmarks that you're landing upon with the fingers. And then we're going to obstruct our ears with our thumbs. So our thumbs are actually going to press on that little lobe on the inside of the front of the ear. And as you press on that, you actually start to hear your own voice more dramatically. You're going in with the sound of your own B-breath buzz. Okay? So it looks like this. You can start with the thumbs, because then you can obstruct there. Then index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. And then soften your hands, soften your shoulders if you can. And then just buzz, okay? We're going to do this 5 times, okay? So breathing in. Now you may want to close your eyes. And then just pause. Just feel that in your body. Feeling that sound resonating. Could you hear it inside? Yeah. So we're standing right now, but I wanted to introduce it to you this way, and we can do this in a seated position in meditation. It's actually a meditation practice in and of itself. Just sitting with and breathing with the B breath basically turns everything from the outside world off. So all you can do is focus inside. And with a world that calls us into its external referencing, this is the answer. We need to draw ourselves in to find out what we want, who we are, so that then we can bring that out into the world. Okay, so we're going to do that at the end as well. During our Shavasana, we'll return to the B breath and see how it feels then. Okay, let's just soften and get a little wild with a 2-year-old grounding exercise. So let yourself just bounce a little bit, letting the heels bounce, letting the knees bounce, letting the hips relax. Just relax, and shoulders relax, and arms and fingers relax, and then let your jaw relax. And then let yourself make a silly sound, just like a 2-year-old can do, just letting everything else from holding on and holding up and tending to all that external stuff Let it all go. That's right. Inhale and just make a sound, a guttural sound. There you go. Hands back to prayer. And just pause. Feeling the effects. Centering yourself again into your practice. Continuing with a few power poses. All right, so you remember this one? This is the classic victory pose. So feet are parallel, hip distance apart. Arms come up into a V of victory. Press down into the feet, all four corners of the feet. So splaying the toes and pressing them down. Feel the front corners of the ball of the foot. Feel the back corners of the heels of the foot. Press down and lift up through the chest, lengthening through the arms, lengthening through your fingertips. Feeling that sense of greeting victory, greeting the yes, greeting the I did it. That sense of accomplishment, that sense of crossing the threshold of something that you have been seeking and wanting to accomplish. And maybe just feeling into this. What if there was a threshold that wants to be crossed? What might it be? And letting yourself dream into and let the heart lead you into that accomplishment. I know for me, sometimes it just feels like the accomplishment might be laying in the hammock. The accomplishment might be allowing myself to relax and to feel good and at peace and ease. And sometimes it's to jump in that cold pond and go for a dip when it feels like that's a little willful. But both are necessary for us to feel that sense of victory in our lives. All right, from here, we're going to bring the arms down. Just pause for a moment. Just feel that in your body. And then we're going to widen the feet out, just into turning it out. So feet are just maybe about shoulder width apart now. And then we're going to reach up. And as we reach up, we're coming up into the Happy Buddha. And placing the hands, so fingertips are facing each other and palms are going up towards the sky. Think of that Happy Buddha belly extending out before you and laughing, finding that sense of joy and laughter and happiness. And really feel into what is it right now that does make you happy? What is it that is joy-filled and happy laughter, Buddha belly laughter for you? What could it be? Is it maybe doing some silly thing that you've never done before and laughing about it, or is it doing the same thing that you've always done and laughing about it? Saying, oh my gosh, there I go again. Laughing like the Happy Buddha with the enlightened perspective and witness state of being. And then bringing the hands down. We're going to turn the feet again, once again, so that they're parallel, but a little bit wider. And then hands come into a loose fist at the hips. Lifting up out of the core, pressing down into the legs. See if you can really feel that lateral line engage. So you're not just coming in, but you're pressing down and widening out with the legs. So you really feel that sense of width. But you also feel that you're not sticking, I oftentimes will stick my tail back. So instead, tucking the tail under so that your feet are out, but your tail is under you. Okay? And then we move into that proud, accomplished, confident, Wonder Woman, Superman pose. So you're feeling that sense of pressing down, pressing back and out, wide, dropping the shoulders, lengthening through the crown, lift up from the pelvic floor. See if you can feel that lift of the core all the way from the pelvic floor, through the center of the body, all the way up through the crown of the head. And then let's conjure the feeling of accomplishment. That feeling of confidence. That feeling of, yes, I'm here, I'm capable, I am able, I am strong. I can face this. And whatever it is that wants to be faced, feel that inner wisdom rise up through you to face whatever it is that's yours to face. There you go. Find that in you. Lift up with that sense of strength within. Yes. Letting that heart shine. Beautiful. All right. So let's let that go. And then just feel that in your body. Victory, happiness, and confidence. Bringing that within you, validating that inside you, that those qualities live, they reside within you, and you can call upon them whenever you want. All right, from here, I want to play with something a little different. So if you have a ball, you can get your ball. Where is mine? Here it is. That's this ball. And if you don't, this is something that you can either do standing or standing against the wall. So I'm going to use the ball and the wall. Join me. All right, so here we go. We're going to take the ball and we're going to place it behind our back, okay? And then lean up against it on the wall. And as we do this, we walk out, and we're going to walk out so that our feet are a little bit far enough forward so that as you sink into a standing squat, basically it's a wall squat, then you start to feel that sense of, well, strengthening in your quads. And then see if you can press back into the wall so you feel that sense of lengthening through the whole back body. This is starting to give you a little bit more of a sense of what a straight back is like and what that alignment is like when you are doing other standing postures. Okay, so feeling the length of the spine. And then from here, I want you just to lift up the heels. As you lift up the heels, can you feel how that shifts the way that your legs are carrying the weight of resistance? Yeah? So go ahead and press down through the heels. Feel that as you drop the heels and press down into the heels. Now when you do that, can you feel it more in your glutes or more in the back of your butt? Yeah? And then as you lift up with the heels, can you feel it more in the quads, maybe? And more in the lower legs, for sure, right? Okay. So let's press through the heels and lift up slightly, pressing down into the heels, lifting up through the legs. Let's bring the arms up, overhead, and then down to prayer. And then we're going to go through the breath that we did last week. Remember the breath that started out so that we're breathing in, lifting the arms up, exhaling, bringing the arms down to Namaste, down to the heart. Inhaling, receiving. Exhaling, coming down. Okay, this next time, lift up the heels, lift the heels to the heart. Inhaling out. Exhaling down and drop the heels. Okay, one more time with each on the heels and heels lifted. Inhaling up. Exhaling down to the heart. Inhaling out. Exhaling down to the sides. Lift the heels. Exhaling to the heart. Opening out, inhale. Exhale down to the sides. Drop the heels. And then roll yourself back up to standing. And just feel that in your legs. Okay, now we're going to try it on the wall with the ball between our knees. Okay? So we're going to bring it between our knees or our thighs above our knees. And feel that squeeze, that even squeeze. Now, I really wanted to help you feel that sense of alignment so that you can maybe lean into the wall, but also just kind of far enough away, just a hint away of it from the wall, so that you can feel that sense of alignment and that you feel that it's got your spine behind you. Got it? Okay, feet parallel, hip distance apart, bringing the squeeze onto the ball, or whatever it is that you might be using instead of a ball, just bringing in the squeeze, maybe without anything, feeling the engagement of the inner thigh musculature. Okay? Then we're going to bring the arms up. And as we bring the arms up, come up into prayer position, and then to interlace fingers, index fingers up into temple position. Roll the shoulders back and down so you feel that sense of length through the back of the neck. And then lift up and arc over to your right. Now see how I'm tracking on the wall? So that you can feel that sense of the glide and slide over to the side seam without feeling like you can lean back or forward, but instead you feel that direct side seam stretch. Got it? Okay, and then I'm actually up against the window jamb here, or the window edge here. But come back up, and then find the balance, and inhale up and over to your left. So you're mirroring me, you're going over to your left, and you're just tracking along the edge of the wall. As you do that, can you feel how it's supporting you in the alignment? Yes. Now have you got the squeeze going on in your lower legs, or in your lower body? In your thighs, actually, in your lower body? Feel that. And then come back up to center. Okay, we're going to do this one more time to each side, but this side actually, instead of having your hands in temple position, what I'd like for you to do is to bring your right hand onto your left wrist. Okay? We're going to lengthen through, or kind of hook around the wrist, and we're going to lift up, and as we come over to the right, think of lifting up and arcing over. Still with the wall supporting the direction of your stretch. That's it. Now breathe into that. Really see if you can lift the elbow up slightly, opening the space between the ribs and the hips. Press the legs together, feel the strength of the lower body. Breathe in, feel that stretch. And then come back up to center. Now switch hands so that your left hand is holding onto your right wrist. Soften through the shoulders, lengthen through the back of the neck, let go of any tension you might have in your face. Bring up the squeeze in between your legs, lift up, and come over to the left side. Stretching deeply, feeling that tracking along the wall, feeling the support. Lengthening through your elbow, lengthening through the ribs, lengthening and opening the space between the ribs and the hip. That's it. And come back up to center. All right, now arms coming out and down, and then bring your hands to prayer position or namaste. Close your eyes. Just feeling that in your shoulders. All right, release the ball, and place it aside. Okay. Walk to the back of the mat, And then we're going to step forward with the right foot and into warrior. Okay, so stepping forward, long stance forward. In warrior, this version of warrior at least, we're going to start with our hips parallel. So our feet are parallel, hip distance apart. The back heel is lifted. Shift your weight into the front knee so that the knee then bends just directly over the ankle, but not past it. Drop the back heel as far as you can so that you start to feel even more of a stretch, not only in the calf muscles in the back, but also into the front of the left hip. Okay, from here we're going to bring the arms out and up into temple position, lifting up through the front body. Open up and feel that sense of length through the whole front of the left hip into the torso. You might even feel it, I can feel this all the way practically up into my ribs. Actually, I can feel it in my ribs. You can feel that stretch through the whole front of that left, well, my right leg. Because I'm mirroring you, right? All right, now from here, bring the hands down onto your thigh. As you shift the weight forward, you can place a little bit more weight into that right foot. And then we're going to bring our hands down on either side of that leg and shift the left leg a little bit farther back. Drop the knee and shift the weight a little bit farther forward into the right leg. Still maintaining that sense of knee over ankle. You're going to drop into a deeper stretch and you'll feel that lunging stretch even more deeply stretching out through the front of the left hip. You got it? You feel it? If you tuck the toes under on that left foot, you'll also feel a nice stretch on the bottom of your foot. Okay, now we're going to walk the hands to the inside. And let the it's your right knee. Your right knee drop out. As you let the right knee drop out, can you feel how that starts to stretch your inner thigh a little bit more? Comes all the way down into the groin. All right, now depending on your flexibility, you can soften into the elbows, or you can come all the way down onto your forearms. Whatever is available to you in your flexibility of hip and lower back. Breathing into that and feeling the stretch. And then walking the hands back up. Now from here, I'm going to give you a couple options. You get to either keep that left knee on the ground and then lift up with hands onto the thigh, lifting up. Or you can lift that back knee up. It's a little bit more challenging, it's a little bit more strength required as well as balance required. But pressing into the knee, lifting up through the front of the chest, and feel the balance there. Now again, from here, either you can have the knee on the ground or you can be up, and we're going to place the left hand down and then twist and look up over. You can still keep the right hand on the thigh, but twist and look up over the right shoulder. Feeling that opening up through in the spinal rotation, and then back to center. Okay, from here, you can drop the back knee if you haven't already, and step forward, rolling up to stand. Pause for a moment, just feel that in your body. You'll feel a difference certainly between your right and your left legs. Now we're going to balance you out. So step back, and we're going to start with warrior on the second side. All right, so you're going to step forward with your left foot this time. And step back so that you've got your feet parallel, hip distance apart. Hips are both facing forward with the shoulders. Lift the back heel and shift the weight into the forward leg. Feel it so that you're checking to make sure that your knee is over your ankle. That stabilizes the knee joint in a position that is going to be a healthy alignment for you. Lengthen through the back heel and see if you can let it drop down. Walk up and let yourself lengthen through the front body. Walk up onto the thigh. And if you want, you can bring the arms up. If If you want to really express that warrior pose, you can lengthen through the whole front body, including extension through the arms. Wherever it is that you are, let yourself feel that openness through the front body, the heart leading you as a true warrior spirit. Heart leads. Hands come down onto the thigh. And again, options, we can, well actually, let's all drop our knee. Drop the right knee. Shift the leg back a little bit, or shift the front leg forward a little bit until you can come into a deep forward lunge. So you're really feeling that stretch to the front of the right hip. Breathe into that, feeling the length. Again, you can tuck the toes under on that right foot so you're getting a stretch to the bottom of the right foot. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands down. Hands down to the inside of that left leg. Let the left knee drop out. As the left leg drops out, you'll feel that stretch in the inner thigh, the groin area. And then again, whether you have the flexibility to come down into your forearms, do that, or just bending into the elbows. Whatever feels right. Letting yourself breathe into and feel the depth and the stretch into the pelvis. All right, walk your hands up. As you walk your hands up, you can either shift up into a deeper stretch or lift the back knee and lift up onto the knee again. From here, place the right hand down. So again, this can either be with the right knee on the mat or lifted. Right hand's down, left arm presses into the thigh as you come into a spinal twist. Gazing over your left shoulder. Feel the breath into the spine as it's in this gentle twist, waking things up, waking up your core. Come back to center and let's soften through the knee, if you haven't already, and then bring yourself stepping forward, and then roll up to stand. And feeling that in your body now. Bring your hands to Namaste and just feel, does it feel like there's a little bit more balance between the right and the left? In your lower body, in your hips, in your spine. Yeah, good. Okay, from here, we're going to come down into downward dog. So go ahead and walk those paws down. And actually, I'm just going to go to the other, I'm going to go to this side. I think it's easier for you to see me when I'm doing some of these poses at this angle. Okay, so downward dog details. Palms are splayed. Index fingers pointing forward. As the index point forward, see if you can get your fingertips, the heel of the hand, and the joint where your fingers meet your hand, all in contact with the mat. And then rolling the eyes or the insides of the elbows so that they're either facing each other or slightly forward in front of you. All right, pressing up into downward dog, feet are parallel, hip distance apart, and feel that sense of lift through the heels so that imagine you had a long dog tail and you're extending that long dog tail, a very happy dog, extending that tail back behind you. And then press yourself so that your ears are parallel with the insides of your elbows. Pressing down and away, your hands and feet are in a dynamic pressing away from each other, creating even more strength through the shoulders as you press in and down and away through the balls of the feet. Slowly let the heels drop down. As you let the heels drop down, see if you can really feel that stretch to the back of the legs. Feeling that stretch. And then shift your weight forward. As you shift your weight forward, see if your hands are underneath your shoulders. And if they aren't, just go ahead and come onto your knees and gently place them so that they are under your shoulders. And then we're going to come into plank. So plank is where your shoulders and your hips are in alignment, like one long plank of wood. Now, if a plank is too, your body's saying, I don't think I can do plank right now, go ahead and come down to your knees. And or, what we're going to do is just alternate, dropping one knee and lifting one knee, dropping the other knee and lifting. Feel the strength of your core as you're doing this. So you're drawing your navel toward your spine. So you're bringing that core activated for even greater strength and stability. All right, now from here, let's press back into downward dog, lifting the tailbone up, lifting the heels up, and then let the heels drop back and down into a deep downward dog stretch. All right, bring the knees down, and let's shift back into child's pose. So as you shift back into child's pose, go ahead and extend the arms out in front of you, bringing your fingertips, walking the fingertips a little bit farther forward as you draw the heels, or the hips back down toward the heels, and settle in. Surrendering into the earth, letting yourself really feel like you could go in, like into the earth. Belly connecting to the wisdom and the ancient knowledge that resides within the earth aspect of ourselves. And then roll up. All right, from here, we're going to go on to all fours again. And then we're going to go into the Julian. Do you remember the Julian? The Julian, I named it that after my cat, because this is a movement that my cat would do as he would wake up from a nap. And so it starts out with an alternating paw stretch. So your front right paw and your back left paw are going to stretch in opposition. So it requires a certain amount of balance and core strength here too. So we're lifting up, front left paw, back right paw, and I'm coming in. Now some of the details of this, even though it's a cat kind of stretch, we want to keep the leg extended straight behind if you can. So you really feel that stretch all the way through the heel from the front of the hip. And back in. Okay, so we're going to alternate lifting up and coming to center. So you can feel how it's a balance. It's a coordination thing as well as a little bit of a brain gym kind of movement. And then let's imagine if we were a cat, we would have, well, at least my cat had retractable claws. So extend through the toes, extend through the fingertips as if you had retractable claws and you were extending them out. And coming back in. Extend out through those claws and extend out through the toes and fingers. And coming back. Now the other thing that Julian did is that he would actually yawn or stretch his jaw and stick his tongue out as he was doing this. So that's kind of a fun thing to do too. So let's do that as well. So you're lifting up, stretching, and coming back to center, and back to center. One more time to each side. I like making the hissy kind of sound too. And back to center. All right. Tuck the tops of the feet back and down onto the mat and let yourself sit back on your heels. If it's uncomfortable, you can come to a kneeling position. And just pause for a second. So from here, what I'd like to do is introduce a couple of other movements that can either be done in a downward dog position, or it can be done in the all fours like the Julian position. But it's a movement that one of the movements I call the fire hydrant, because, well, it's kind of like what a dog does at a fire hydrant when they're gonna pee on a fire hydrant. Anyway, and so it's a series of movements that are really opening up the hip, okay? But because when you're on all fours, you're weight bearing in a square, and it's a little bit more demanding if you're doing it in a downward dog position. So just monitor and do it in a way that feels right for your body right now, tonight, or today, or whenever it is that you're doing this video. All right, so here we go. I'm going to do it in a downward dog position because, I don't know, I guess I'm just ready for a workout. So I'm going to press up, or you can be on all fours, and we're going to draw the knee to the chest, and then we're going to extend the leg out, and then we're going to draw the knee to the chest, and we're going to extend the leg out. This is the fire hydrant. And then we're going to draw the knee in, and then we're going to extend the leg back. So the same thing to the other side. So knee into the chest, leg extended behind you, knee into the chest, out to fire hydrant, back to chest, and back down. Again, knee to chest, extending the leg back behind you, knee to chest, bringing it out to fire hydrant. Knee to chest, extend it back, and down. Last time to the second side here. Knee to chest, extending back behind you. Knee to chest, lifting up to fire hydrant. Knee to chest, back behind you, and then placing back and down. And then from here, press back into downward dog. Either way, even if you've been on all fours, go ahead and press back into downward dog. Stretching out the hips. And then bringing yourself forward. From here, we're going to come back into child's pose again. This time, widen the knees. So widen the knees out, and then bring the toes together. And then you're going to bow forward in between. So you're really finding that space to drop the body forward and surrender to the earth. From here, we're going to bring the arms over to the left and stretch out. Bringing the right arm across, dropping the right hip back and down. Getting a diagonal stretch. And then walk the hands in front of you and back over to the other side. So you're really stretching that left arm over the right hand and dropping the left hip back and down, getting a nice diagonal stretch there. And then walking yourself back to center and roll up, drawing the knees together, and let's cross the legs behind us and bring the legs in front. So from here, just notice which leg naturally rests in front of the other. And then we're going to walk ourselves forward. As you walk forward, actually see if it's okay for your knee to bring that front leg a little bit farther forward. You feel that? If you do, you'll probably feel it in the back of that hip, which is good, okay? So now we're going forward. We're going to bow forward, depending on your flexibility. You can, either fold all the way down to the floor, or just bending into the elbows. Using your body weight to just gently drape yourself forward into a deep stretch. Letting gravity be your friend here to support you in the movement and the deepening of the stretch. All right, rolling yourself up. And now let's extend that leg out to the side. Okay, so from here, now as you extend that leg, you'll probably feel a stretch in through the inner thigh. Maybe, maybe not. See if you can turn the foot out slightly or turn it back slightly, flexing the foot and turning it back. You're activating that leg by extending through the heel and really feeling the length of the back of that leg, pressing the back of the knee down toward the mat. Now rotate your upper body so that you're over that leg, kind of on that diagonal, and then just gently extend forward. As you extend forward, can you just hinge from the hips and see if you can feel the length of the stretch through the back of the leg and through the back of your hips and the back of your body. The whole back body, really. Okay, so now walk the hands down and forward. Now, depending on your flexibility, you may be able to bow even farther forward, or you may be just in that slight transition of a twist. Whatever, wherever you are, just find that edge for yourself. Again, depending on your flexibility, you may even want to reach over with the right arm to the outside of that left leg. And draw yourself down a little bit farther. And then coming back up to center. Now we're going to stretch out the other side just by placing your right hand down, left arm up, soften into that right arm as you just lean back. That's it. And then coming back up. Then we're going to reverse the movement to the second side. So starting out by just bringing the other foot, or for you, as I'm mirroring you, it would be your right foot forward. Draw it out just a little bit so that you feel that angle in the hip that's giving you a slight stretch. Make sure your sits bones are both on the floor. And then you're going to walk your hands out in front of you. As you walk the hands out, start to surrender into gravity, allowing the upper body to just drape over. And as you do that, you'll start to really feel a deep stretch in through the back of that right hip. Fall forward until you meet your edge and breathe into it. You're going into the stretch, into your body's wisdom. And then walking yourself back up. Now from here, we're going to extend the leg that was in front, extend it out to the side, extend through that leg, through the heel, and turn it back, flexing the foot. Even just in that position alone, you're going to feel some stretch. Then rotate and face over that foot. Again, you're going to feel a slight stretch and twist in through the torso as you do that. If you have it available, bow yourself forward over that leg, pressing the back of the knee down toward the mat. And again, if you have it available, reach around to the outside of that leg and draw yourself down and forward. And then coming back up. All right, now you're going to extend the first leg out. So both legs are out wide. All right, like your legs might not do what mine are, or they might go even farther, who knows. But I'm going to just slide a little bit farther forward. Both sit bones are on the floor. Both legs extend. Press the back of the knees down to the mat and pressing out through the heels. Okay. So from here, oh, guess what? We're going to walk forward. So walking forward, soften through the elbows. See if you can fall with the upper body forward. Walking forward, gently. Breathing into the pelvis, breathing into the inner thighs, breathing into the length of the legs all the way through the heels. Flexing the feet back, really stretching. Surrender forward if you can. So that means just hang forward. For some of you, you might be able to come all the way down with your chest on the floor. And then walk yourself back up. Let's bring the legs together so that either bottoms of the feet are together into cobbler pose. Drawing the knees close in and see if you can press the legs out wide so you feel that sense of your butterfly wings here. And then from here, we're just going to bow forward again. These forward folds are so good for the nervous system to calm, but also this theme of going in to find out. Going in to find out what the stretch is that's available to you in your inner thighs, hips, and lower back today. And then rolling back up. All right, we're going to tuck the right leg under and bring the left leg over. Okay, now in this you'll probably feel a stretch in the back of that left hip. Draw the knee in until you feel a nice stretch there. If it feels like it's available to you, you can hook the right arm around the outside of the left thigh or just hold on to the outside of the knee with the right hand. Left hand gets to be placed behind you. Lift up. See if you can feel both sit bones on the floor. And lift up and then rotate gazing over your left shoulder. So you're using the left arm basically to keep you upright. So you're not doing a lounge back, but you're lifting up through the crown, straight up and rotating, directly gazing over the left shoulder. All the while hugging that knee to your chest, creating even more of a stretch through the back of that left hip. Breathe and stretch and feel the spiraling of the spine up and back and twisting, bringing out all of the contents of your abdomen, all the viscera, and coming back. All right, now, theoretically, if we can go into the hero pose, we can stack the knees on top of each other. Yours might not do that. It might be just pretty much where it is right now, crossing over. But if you can, tuck that knee under and that upper knee over. And see if you can stack them, bringing the feet parallel to the sides. And we're going to bow forward. As you bow forward, over the knees, feel that deep stretch in through the hips again. Deeply opening the pelvis. This is called the hero pose. And lifting up. All right, from here, let's lift that leg up. Hold on to the heel, hold on to the knee, and just rock the hip. If you want to, you can hold it like a baby, or if you can, hold it like a baby like this, lifting up and rockabye baby, rockabye hip. And then let that hip rest down. Tuck the left leg under, right leg over. Find both sit bones on the floor and draw the right knee to the chest. We're going to do a spinal twist. If this is uncomfortable for your leg in the spinal twist, the other option for spinal twist, as we've done in previous classes, is to extend the lower leg and twist this way. Okay, so that's another option. Flexing the foot, holding onto the outside of the knee, or into the crook of the elbow. Place the right hand behind you. Lengthen through the spine. Press into both sits bones. Press into the support of the right arm. And lift up and rotate, gazing over the right shoulder. Exhaling with the deepening of the twist. Feel the movement here as you allow yourself to twist into and feel a wringing out of the contents of the torso, as well as a deep strengthening move for those subtle movements of the subtle musculature of the spine, the core, strengthened and stretched. Breathe in and then exhale, coming back to center. Okay, and now from here, if it's available to you, we're coming into hero pose. So stacking the knees on top of each other, bringing the feet out wide to the sides. See if you can have both sits bones on the floor, and then you're going to bow forward, bowing forward over the knees, deeply surrendering to the within and the wisdom. The hero holds as he bows his head forward, or she, hero, bows her head forward, accessing the wisdom of the heart. And then coming back up to center. Okay, let's uncross that leg and give it a little hug. Give it a little rockabye baby, opening through that hip. And then let that go. All right, from here, I want to invite you to find the ball if you have a ball. And if you don't, it's okay. You don't have to use it. You can either do all of the movements that we're going to do on your back without a ball, or you can place your hands underneath your hips so that your palms are down and you're just kind of sitting on your hands like that. Okay? So, here, I'll show you. Sitting on your hands like that. It just gives you a slight lift in the hips supporting your lower back. I like using the ball, and if you have one, I'm going to show it to you. So we're going to lift up the hips and place the ball underneath our sacrum. So as you do that, it should be so that if you roll from side to side, it kind of goes to one bun and then the other bun. Okay? So that's the right place. If you lift up, then you'll also feel it directly underneath your sacrum. If you know your sacrum is that bone at the very bottom of the pelvis. Okay? So now we're going to place our hands on our sides, palms down, just to stabilize you. And then bring the legs up so that they're straight up. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to crisscross down. And as you crisscross down, you start to feel even more, looks like my abs are engaged. And hang out there, a place where it feels like your abs are engaged, crisscrossing. And then crisscross back up. So we're just going to play with this. You crisscross down, and you hang out there for a couple crisscrosses. And then you crisscross back up. And down again. Now, as you're doing this, if this feels pretty easy, the other option is to, if you have a ball, this is going to destabilize things by lifting the hands up. But as you do that, you can feel even more strength and balance. Now, you can also crisscross your arms. As you're crisscrossing your legs, for even more kind of curious strengthening opportunity here. Whoop, I might spill here. All right, and now what we're going to do is either having your hands up or your hands at your sides or underneath your hips, depending on where you are. We're going to just bring the knees out, bring the heels together as you kind of like press down. I think of this is kind of like a froggy kind of position. And then you're going to extend the legs out. Now notice that I'm on a slight angle. So depending on the angle, if you go straight up, you'll feel a certain core strength. If you go out a little bit more, you'll probably feel a little bit more core strength that's engaged. If you go out even farther, you'll feel even more of a core strength. So wherever it is that feels like your desired angle, go ahead and go to that desired angle for your little froggy pushes. Into and out from the hips. And then last but not least, we're going to extend the legs, point the toes, and then crisscross them. Crisscross them down, and crisscross them up. And then see if you can crisscross them all the way. Oh, so they just hover over the floor. And then back up again. All right, draw the knees to the chest and just hug your knees to your chest. Feeling the strength of your core muscles. We're going to slide that ball out and then place it between the knees. And then roll yourself up. Okay. If you don't have a ball, it's okay. Just roll yourself up, holding onto the backs of your thighs. Okay. From here, again, if you have a ball, you can place it behind you. If not, it's okay. You're just going to bring the knees out in front of you. And then place your hands on your thighs. And what we're going to do is just kind of an isometric contraction for the hips and for the core. We're going to lean back slightly. So you're lengthening through the crown all the way back so you feel like letting your heart shine upwards towards the sun. And then we're going to press into the thighs with the palms. So you're actually pressing and creating isometric stretch and resistance. You press back, lift up with your sunny heart, and there you feel that nice resistance. So I'm pressing away and I'm lifting up at the same time. And feel how that's engaging mid, upper core muscles of the torso. And then let that go. Go ahead and hold on to your knees, and you can let go of your little bunny tail. And let yourself, we're going to rock a little bit from back and forth. So make sure that whatever the space behind you, you're not going to rock yourself into anything. But hold on to the back of the legs. And we're just going to rock down and rock back up and see if you can balance. Rock back and rock up and balance. Now if you want to do it without your hands, it's all more fun. So rock back and rock up to balance. And if you want to, you can come all the way up into boat. Extending arms and legs. Rocking back, rocking up, extending. Rocking back, rocking up, and extending. Alright, let's bring those legs down. And just cross the legs in front of you. And what we're going to do is place right hand down onto the mat, let it slide, bring the left arm up into a side stretch. Lifting up with the inhale, left hand sliding, right arm over into a deep side stretch. Back up to center, cross the legs the other way. Right arm slides, left arm up into a deep side stretch. We're just evening out the hips this way. Left arm slides, right arm up into the side stretch. And knees to the chest, laying back and down. And just rock from side to side, just rocking out the lower back a little bit if there's any holding or tension in there, especially after doing all that core strengthening work. Okay? And then extend the front leg down so that you're able to draw that back knee. What we're going to do is draw it across the body. So we're coming into a supine or on the spinal twist. Draw the knee all the way down. So you're going to come basically onto the side, onto your side, and then bring the upper arm out towards the ceiling. The lower arm is going to rest on the outside of your thigh, just above your knee, and then reach back, gazing over if you can, reaching back and see if you can touch the floor. If you can't, that's okay. Now, the goal here with this is to be able to rotate the shoulders under you and rotate the pelvis over you so that you can reach back and stretch and even touch the shoulder and the knee at the same time. I said it's ideal. It may not be possible tonight, but you can seek that as part of your vision of your journey for maybe your next incarnation, right? Okay, so now from here, we're going to draw the knee back up to center. Go slow. And then switch the legs, so you're going to extend the other leg and draw the front knee up, or the one that's closest to me. Okay. And then draw that knee across. Again, letting that lower arm guide the knee down and across. Maybe coming all the way onto your side, that's okay. Reach that upper arm up towards the ceiling and then back behind you. Now one of the tricks that I do is I just kind of slide my rib cage under me so I can get that lengthening through the front of this. And then I can drop the knee after that, again, deepening into the stretch. And then gazing over the shoulder, giving yourself a little bit more of a stretch through the rotation of the spine all the way down. Now with this, you can play a little bit with position of the arm. You can bring it down, you can bring it up, you can open the palm up, you can press the palm down. Wherever it is you feel the best stretch through the shoulder girdle, that's where you want to be. Okay, now draw the knee back up. As you draw the knee back up, draw both knees up. Let them be a little bit wide though. So we're kind of moving into happy baby from here. So just shifting the weight from side to side, and then move into your version of happy baby. Now your happy baby might be holding onto the outsides of your calves, or it may be that you hold on to the outside of your feet, or it may be that you hold on to your big toes. I like holding on to my big toes with my index and middle finger and my thumbs. And let yourself just float, floating from side to side. Extending one leg and then the other, maybe even lifting your tailbone up and down, just kind of rocking through, just letting yourself return to happy baby land so that you're able to just let anything that's been holding on to the lower back, the pelvis. I know we did a lot of hip opening today, whenever, in this class. All right, and then let's just move into Shavasana. Okay, so for some of you, Shavasana, you might want to use your roller, to lay down and back down on the roller. For some of you, you might want to place it under your knees. You might also want to use some of your other props, like blankets, eye pillows, blocks, whatever it is that is going to be supporting you to be able to really let go, okay, to drop back and down. I'm going to come into a seated position to guide you through the Shavasana as well as we're going to go back to the bee breath, that buzzing bee breath, so that you can feel it while you are lying down. Okay, so starting out with the bee breath again. After you've settled into wherever it is that's your most supported shavasana position. And then the bee breath, remember the sound is kind of a buzzing sound. Got a little tickle in my throat. Excuse me. I might have to take a sip of water just a second. Okay, the hand position. The thumbs are over those little lobes in the front of the ear. Index fingers on the top of the brow. The middle finger is underneath the eye. Ring finger on the top of the mouth, just below the nose. Pinky finger on the jaw, on the chin. Go ahead and obstruct the ears, but we're going to do this breath 5 times. Again, okay? Bring your awareness inward and let yourself drop into the sound. Shoulders relaxed. Breathing in. Releasing the hands. And then bringing your hands down either to your belly center or heart center. Following the breath. Following the rise and fall of the breath and letting the rest of the body surrender into the earth and the support that's always there for you. And maybe becoming aware of anything that feels like it is an unknown. There's a lot of unknowns in our lives. Things that are uncertain, questions that we may have. And letting yourself know that within you, you can find out. Within the heart, within the hara, within the breath, within this present, centered awareness and relaxation, you can find out. So, if you'd like, you can remain in Shavasana for a more extended practice. And for those of you that want to roll to your side, you can roll to your side and come up into a seated position again. Bringing the hands to Namaste at the heart. Taking a moment to bow to yourself with gratitude for coming into practice in this way. To bow with gratitude to each other as a community that are practicing together, even at a time of needing to be in social distancing, that we're still connected and practicing. And then bowing to the world at large and to the communities to which you belong, then blessing them with your practice, blessing them with your awareness and your intention. To find out by going in. Namaste.